Have you thoroughly tested the LinkedIn Audience Network yet? Some big changes have been made to it recently, and there's a lot to appreciate. Today on the LinkedIn Ads Show, we're diving into the LinkedIn Audience Network.
Welcome to the LinkedIn Ads Show. Here's your host, AJ Wilcox.
Hey there, LinkedIn Ads fanatics. If you're like me, you've seen the option for enabling LinkedIn's audience network in sponsored content campaigns for years. Maybe it's something that you've occasionally used, or in some cases, maybe you've always excluded it. Well, LinkedIn recently made big changes to the audience network, and I wanted to bring LinkedIn's product team in to come and talk to us about it. Now, we as marketers, we seem to always be shortening things to acronyms. I've called the LinkedIn Audience Network LAN for lots of years. And in this episode, we mostly refer to it by its full name, but don't be confused. It's the same option that I've talked about in the past. Now, Peter Turner was one of the product people at LinkedIn for lots of years, and I've gotten to interface with him for a long time as he's worked on many different projects. And as I wanted to have an episode all about the LinkedIn Audience Network, of course, I knew he was all over it, and I wanted to make sure we brought him on. And he introduced me to Lipika Gimler, who's also over it. And so we're trying a kind of dual interview approach. So I hope you like hearing from both Peter and Lipika. I wanted to give a shout out to Rob Bijens from the Netherlands. And Rob, I'm sorry if I butchered your last name, but he left a review on the podcast. And he said, 100% the LinkedIn go-to podcast, 5 stars. Love AJ's podcast. He gives so much insights, updates, and inspiration when it comes to LinkedIn advertising and more. What I especially like is not only his guru level expertise, although he is a LinkedIn guru, but the AJ also tells the audience when he simply doesn't know yet, asking the audience to share their thoughts. This makes his podcast 100% authentic. I want to apologize to AJ for not taking the time until now to give him the 5-star review he deserves, with a little smiley face. AJ, please keep up the good work as you bring so much value to the LinkedIn community. All the best, Rob Bijens, the Netherlands. Rob, I don't care how long you waited. I'm so grateful that you left this review. I do try really hard to be truthful when there is something I just don't know or don't have enough data on, so I'm glad you picked up on that. I do have an ego. I don't like to admit when I don't know something, but I try really hard for you guys. Thanks so much for heeding the call when I asked for reviews. So thank you. And of course, everyone else, please do follow Rob's lead here and go and leave a review as well. As a reminder, make sure you go back and listen to episode 83. It was the holiday ad performance report. We've had about 35 man-hours go into producing that episode and the report. If you skip that episode, you go back and listen to it. Okay, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the interview. All right, Lipika, Peter, I'm so excited to have you guys here. Lipika, let's start with you. Tell us about yourself and what you do at LinkedIn.
Hey, AJ. My name is Lipika, and I'm a product marketing manager at LinkedIn, and I work on the LinkedIn Audience Network. And I typically sit at the intersection of our product build and our go-to-market teams, really helping in the formulation of product value propositions, as well as partnering with our product teams in continuing to build meaningful solutions for our customers.
Fantastic. And Peter, same question to you.
Hey, AJ. Great to be here. I've been at LinkedIn for a little over 6 years now, and I've held a variety of roles focused on different partnership programs. Throughout this time, one of those programs has been the LinkedIn Audience Network. And I've been a part of the growth of the LinkedIn Audience Network from its founding. And now my team looks after the partnerships and ecosystem strategy necessary to keep growing the value we create for marketers.
That's awesome, Peter. As long as I can remember, you and I have been talking about the LinkedIn Audience Network. The impetus for this whole interview was I haven't had an episode about the LinkedIn Audience Network. And I've always been telling myself, as soon as I can have Peter on, that's when we're going to have an episode. So this is the culmination of that. Really excited to have both you and Lipika here.
Too kind.
Well, I think we need to start out with just general definition here. What is the LinkedIn Audience Network? Love for you to tell us even more about how it works, what it's used for, how we see it within Campaign Manager.
Yeah, absolutely. So in a nutshell, the way we describe the LinkedIn Audience Network is that it's a placement available within LinkedIn's suite of advertising products. So it essentially enables our advertisers to reach their targeted professional audiences at scale across a network of vetted publishers, really to maximize their advertising outcomes. So by leveraging the LinkedIn Audience Network, what advertisers can do is, number one, they can extend the reach of their sponsored content campaigns to LinkedIn professionals who happen to be active on trusted third-party apps and sites. And advertisers are also able to boost campaign performance across full funnel objectives. So by leveraging the LinkedIn Audience Network, they can achieve better return on ad spend and improve their marketing outcomes by really activating their campaigns across both the LinkedIn feed and the LinkedIn Audience Network. So it really is a powerful, powerful tool that should be considered by advertisers who want to really expand the scale of their B2B campaigns.
And I love the Audience Network for the exact reason. When we're just advertising on LinkedIn, it almost feels like we're bidding on someone and we're waiting for them to come back to LinkedIn. But through the LinkedIn Audience Network, we're able to reach those exact right professionals with the right targeting pretty much all the way across the web. So I'm a big fan.
Yep, absolutely. And that's exactly what the product was designed to do, is to really work in partnership with the LinkedIn feed to help our advertisers ultimately reach their intended audiences across the touch points that matter, whether that's on the platform or whether that's off the platform. So it really is a fantastic tool to consider experimenting with.
Perfect. And Peter, tell us about how LinkedIn decided who would be a great publisher to partner with on the Audience Network.
Yeah, well, first, we couldn't have an audience network without publishers. And so we're deeply grateful for our publishers and the role they play. And our publisher partner strategy is one that is deeply rooted in our principle to provide value to our B2B marketers. And we do this by extending campaign scale and reach while helping ensure that their brand messages appear in safe environments. We look at both quantitative data, like the relative level of invalid traffic on a publisher, as well as more qualitative reviews of their ad experience and ad load. We prioritize publishers that we know to be spaces where our professional audiences are present and engaged, and we have checks and balances in place to bid on quality inventory. Because brand safety is incredibly important to our advertisers and to us, we work with leading partners like Double Verify, Integral Ad Science, and Pixelate to help protect marketer campaigns.
And what I love about this is it seems like every ad platform who has an audience network, the general feel is it's going to be a lower quality network. But I've never felt that with LinkedIn. It always feels like there's premium placements. And I would imagine that you're probably to thank for that.
Just like with LinkedIn, we take brand safety very seriously and want to make sure that marketers can trust going off LinkedIn as much as they trust running their campaigns on LinkedIn.
Most of us know that the various display networks out there for digital marketers are commonly regarded as being low quality. So how is the LinkedIn Audience Network different from the Google Display Network and Facebook's Audience Network?
Yeah, that's a great question. And to really summarize it succinctly, the LinkedIn Audience Network is truly designed and built differently from other audience networks, as it's ultimately rooted in enabling our advertisers to reach highly coveted professional audiences and engage B2B decision makers across the touch points that matter and do so at scale. So we consider our audience network to actually be a core part of our ad placement offering. So it's considered to be a truly vetted product from both a performance standpoint and from a brand safety standpoint, as Peter alluded to. So advertisers who are looking for ways to further scale their campaign and engage with their target professional audience across the surfaces that matter find a lot of value in leveraging our audience network, as we've had studies show that marketers can achieve up to 9 times more monthly touch points to reaching LinkedIn members who tend to be more active on our audience network. This is definitely something that really does set us apart from other audience networks. And we've also invested a lot in making sure that we reach and target the right audience through integrations to third-party supply sources and bolstering our audience graph. And of course, doing so safely with leading brand safety and suitability solutions through the partners that Peter mentioned as well, Double Verify being one of the most recent partnerships that we've forged in the past quarter.
AJ, we found that advertisers achieve better return on ad spend and improve marketing outcomes by acting their campaigns both on LinkedIn Audience Network and alongside the LinkedIn feed. Advertisers see an estimated cost per 1,000 impressions reduced by 47% and 63% lower cost per conversions when leveraging the Audience Network.
And that makes perfect sense to me. This is the right people seeing your message more often in more places. I like to use this thought idea, like what makes you cool in high school? Is it one friend who tells 1,000 people that you're cool? Or is it 1,000 different people saying that you're cool? We know what drives popularity and it's multiple sources. I really see that as being one of the big ways that the LinkedIn Audience Network helps our campaigns.
We help LinkedIn marketers be cool. I like that.
Yeah, exactly. So speaking of cool, what are some of the ways that marketers are using the LinkedIn Audience Network? If you want to share any like cool case studies or what people are doing that has been really exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've actually seen some remarkable case studies of customers leveraging LinkedIn Audience Network for various use cases, such as brand awareness being one that comes top of mind. So an example is a leading technology company that works with LinkedIn primarily because of our zero party and our first party data. So just double clicking into what those terms mean specifically. So zero party data is anything that our members willingly provide us via their LinkedIn profile information. So this is publicly available information that they have on their LinkedIn profile and updated continuously, whereas first-party data is what we can then derive from user behavior on the platform. So an example of this would be engagement data. So this customer in question that leveraged the LinkedIn Audience Network for brand awareness actually leveraged it for a very specific use case, which was account-based marketing. So they leveraged our audience network to really reach hard-to-find strategic members of the buying committee, and we're ultimately able to see a 58% decline in CPMs, or cost per thousand impressions, and saw a 151% increase in their ability to reach CXOs, which was a core audience segment that they were looking to target. Similarly, we've also seen advertisers leverage the LinkedIn Audience Network for consideration campaigns. So here, an example that comes to mind is a client who leveraged the LinkedIn Audience Network to lower cost per clicks by about 65%, and saw an uptick in click-through rates by about 90%. And we have another client who saw 2.2 times higher video view-through rate and 2.5 times higher video completion rate and 64% lower cost per view. So as you can tell from a lot of these examples, the LinkedIn Audience Network is really great for full funnel objectives. So while brand awareness is sort of an obvious use case for advertisers to use our audience network for, we've also seen a lot of our clients use it for consideration and bottom of funnel campaigns as well.
We also, as a team, recently figured out that the LinkedIn Audience Network, if you're using the single image ad placement, you can build your single image ad retargeting audience very quickly. So those are some of the great things. I hear you loud and clear for the results that you've seen across these other clients. Peter, what about you?
Yeah, it's not just for branding, as Lipika talked about, AJ. We've also seen some customers leveraging the LinkedIn Audience Network for bottom funnel objectives as well. I don't get to work with our customers as much, but these examples are so impressive. This one sticks out to me. There was a client who's a leading provider of business cloud communications who used the Audience Network as a way to help their team connect their brand initiatives to business outcomes, and saw 65% lower CPMs while driving 93 times more conversions from CTOs, the audience that mattered most to them. And another interesting use case we've seen recently is one in APAC, where an agency client enabled LinkedIn Audience Network for their branding campaign and then built a retargeting campaign afterwards to retarget audience reach via LinkedIn Audience Network, enabled campaigns via lead gen forms. And they saw a 2x increase in lead gen form completes as a result. It's kind of like that example you were talking about, AJ, building that retargeting audience from a LinkedIn Audience Network campaign.
We were so excited when we found out that the Audience Network could build your retargeting audience. I mean, anytime we're going after an audience on LinkedIn, you have to have a minimum of 300 people. It can take a while to build a retargeting audience of 300 people, but it built very quickly on the Audience Network. So I think that's way cool. Here's a quick sponsor break, and then we'll dive into the rest of the interview.
The LinkedIn Ads Show is proudly brought to you by B2Linked.com, the LinkedIn ads experts.
If you're a B2B company and care about getting more sales opportunities with your ideal prospects, then chances are LinkedIn ads are for you. But the platform isn't easy to use and can be painfully expensive on the front end. At B2Linked, we've cracked the code to maximizing ROI while minimizing costs. Our methodology includes building and executing LinkedIn ad strategies customized to your unique needs and tailored to the way that B2B consumers buy today. Over the last 11 years, we've worked with some of the largest LinkedIn ad spenders in the world. We've spent over $150 million on the platform, and we're official LinkedIn partners. If you want to generate more sales opportunities with your ideal prospects, book a discovery call today at b2linked.com/apply. We'd absolutely love the opportunity to get to work with you. All right, let's go ahead and jump back into the interview. So what's some of the work that goes behind the scenes in ensuring that LinkedIn's audience network is brand safe and that advertisers have the controls that they need?
AJ, this is one of my favorite questions, and one that, we spend a lot of time at LinkedIn. A lot of work goes in behind the scenes. So at its core, we want to make sure that marketers feel really confident running off LinkedIn just as much as they do on LinkedIn. And we continuously work to uphold LinkedIn's brand safety standards across both the feed and the audience network. There's both manual and automated brand safety checks that we perform as a team. And we partner with industry leaders such as IAS, Double Verify, and Pixelate to filter out low quality inventory across the network. And we also have an in-house team that manually vets and audits our list of publishers regularly to make sure that we're prioritizing publishers based on performance and audience engagement to maintain the quality of the network. This is core to what we deliver for our marketers and really important for my team to get right.
Yeah. And in addition to all of the fantastic under the hood protections that Peter mentioned that essentially come out of the box with the LinkedIn Audience Network, something that we're really, really excited to announce the launch of this quarter is a brand new brand safety hub, wherein advertisers can actually design their own brand safety guardrails to reach their desired professional audiences across third-party apps and sites while still remaining aligned with their brand safety needs. So with this new brand safety hub that we've launched, what people can essentially do is, number one, they can download and review the entire list of publishers that make up the LinkedIn Audience Network so as to, take a look at them and ensure there's transparency into what makes up our audience network. In addition to this, they can also create and upload custom allow lists and custom block lists to be very specific in identifying the publishers that they want their brand messages to appear on. And finally, we also have introduced a new feature where advertisers can now import and apply their own Double Verify powered authentic brand suitability and custom contextual targeting profiles to the LinkedIn Audience Network campaigns. So this is a brand new partnership that we've forged with an industry leader like Double Verify. So it's a pretty fantastic new feature that can be leveraged by advertisers who use DV in their campaigns. So in addition to all of these new features, we also have category blocking, which essentially leverages IAB Tech Lab content taxonomy categories at the campaign level. So a ton of customization, a ton of manual controls that our advertisers can apply in setting up their brand safety guardrails is what they can look forward to, in addition to the automated checks that are already in place within the product.
Well, and Lipika, I have to say, I'm a huge fan of the new brand safety hub. Some of the initial exploration that we did, as soon as we found out that we could upload our own targeting and block lists, we thought, well, hey, what if we started showing ads just to apps? Maybe for something like a mobile app. Or what if we blocked apps and just showed to publishers? And we wouldn't have had that level of control without the brand safety hub. So props to you guys for releasing that. That was a really cool release.
Yeah, absolutely. It was something that was a top ask by a lot of our customers. And we're really, really excited to be able to bring them to life and encourage anybody and everybody who is sort of on the edge of wanting to test out the LinkedIn Audience Network to kind of give it a go and see how it works out for them from a brand safety perspective specifically. And obviously, feedback is always welcome.
Well, so Lipika, I know this is kind of your wheelhouse. I'm curious to ask about what the future of the LinkedIn Audience Network looks like.
Yeah, absolutely. So the future for the LinkedIn Audience Network is absolutely bright, and our teams are consistently working to introduce net new ad formats and ad placements that are exclusive to the LinkedIn Audience Network. As I mentioned prior, the LinkedIn Audience Network is considered to be a core part of our advertising solution. So there's a lot of investment from an R&D perspective and a lot of investment in terms of really soliciting what our customers are looking for in terms of what's going to bring them value. So we really are looking to further fortify LinkedIn as a whole as the B2B marketing partner of choice for brands and agencies. And the LinkedIn Audience Network is a key component to how we're going to get there. So we're really excited about what's in development, but at this point, there's a lot of under the hood work that's being done, but we're happy to share more about it in the coming months, hopefully on a future episode that we might be able to guest star on again with yourself, AJ.
Perfect. Well, we'd sure love to have you back for any new developments. That would be fantastic. Always so excited to see how fast LinkedIn is moving at coming out with new features, and especially around the LinkedIn Audience Network. I've noticed I'll be inside of Campaign Manager and just see something new and go, wow, I didn't even know they were working on that, especially like the Brand Safety Hub. That was awesome. We had an episode several back about the cookie apocalypse that's happening. I'm curious how the cookie apocalypse is affecting the LinkedIn Audience Network, especially after Chrome stops respecting third-party cookies. What can we expect?
Yeah, that's a really great and a very timely question because it's definitely top of mind for a lot of folks in our industry. And this is one that our team has really been focused on for the past few quarters to address and to find meaningful solutions for. Ultimately, it boils down to the fact that the LinkedIn Audience Network, again, is truly an extension of LinkedIn, with the anchoring feature being LinkedIn's zero and first party data, our targeting data, that is really second to none when it comes to professional audience targeting. So, along with these deterministic data assets, we rely on our proprietary privacy enhancing group identity solution, which essentially leverages LinkedIn's first party data to group members based on shared professional attributes. So examples of this could be title or seniority. And this essentially enables us to reach professionals at scale through our first party data and not individual trackers. So we truly think that B2B can be better served by using group level and other privacy enhancing solutions that are rooted in this proprietary first party professional data. And with our audience network, advertisers can harness the power of LinkedIn's targeting to really accelerate their marketing outcomes across a network of vetted publishers where their audience is engaging the most. And they're able to do so while enhancing member privacy in an evolving identity landscape. So the investments we're making across LinkedIn within this particular space is definitely being bolstered within the LinkedIn Audience Network as well.
Perfect. So it doesn't sound like we should be afraid of cookie apocalypse happening. It's not going to shut the LinkedIn Audience Network down.
Not at all. It is, in fact, being thought of at the forefront of all of this innovation. So, we'd recommend and we'd encourage our advertisers to leverage the audience network to really reach their audiences at scale, because it's not something we're necessarily afraid of at this point, but we're actually thriving in the current environment.
Beautiful to hear. So as we are turning on LinkedIn Audience Network campaigns, and we've been testing them quite a bit, we've noticed that when you turn something on, it's going to react in the auction slightly differently. So I'd love to ask, how does the LinkedIn Audience Network interact within the auction for LinkedIn traffic? How might you sculpt the right balance of ensuring that you have as much traffic going towards on network as LinkedIn Audience Network?
So at LinkedIn, we work to maximize marketing outcomes for all of our customers across all the available placements we have, really based on what they're trying to achieve at a scale. So our platform algorithms work to show brand messages across both feed and LinkedIn Audience Network that match an advertiser's professional target audience first, and then based on the campaign's objective second, and at the same time while considering their budget and bid type. And again, the priority is to drive maximum key results as per their objectives at the lowest cost. And this ultimately decides how ad impressions are split across the LinkedIn Audience Network and our feed, as our ad platform behaves in a placement agnostic manner and considers all available placements at par with each other. This also helps ensure that advertising on LinkedIn is seamless and data-driven while being anchored in our robust and proprietary professional audience graph for member interactions with LinkedIn. One suggestion for advertisers, as I'm thinking about the problem you present, is who prefer testing and monitoring their campaign performance across the LinkedIn Audience Network and their feed distinctly, would be to run parallel A/B campaigns, one with LinkedIn Audience Network enabled and one without, while mimicking the exact same campaign parameters. This way, one can assume that 90% of LinkedIn Audience Network enabled campaigns will deliver on the LinkedIn Audience Network, while the other would be pure feed campaigns and better the chance of reaching professionals across both the feed and the LinkedIn Audience Network semi-equally.
And that's exactly what I'd recommend too, because you can't run just a LinkedIn Audience Network campaign. So duplicating both campaigns, having one set to do the LinkedIn Audience Network, the other set to be LinkedIn only, that's a great way of A/B testing the campaigns. So I'm a fan of that approach. All right, so final question for both of you. What are you both professionally and personally most excited for right now or this year?
Yeah, I'm personally really excited to see more B2B marketers leveraging the LinkedIn Audience Network and finding interesting use cases for it in their marketing campaigns. A ton of times when we connect with our advertisers, we find use cases that we hadn't even thought about in the first place. So it's really, really engaging for us to connect with our clients and learn about how they're utilizing the audience network within their toolkit. And there are so many learnings that are to be had by experimenting with the LinkedIn Audience Network and unlocking test budgets for it. So I'd really encourage all of the marketers who are tuning into this episode to connect with your LinkedIn account team and explore ways by which you can expand the possibilities of what can be accomplished by tapping into, LinkedIn and the LinkedIn Audience Network to achieve your B2B marketing dreams and ambitions.
Love that. And Peter, same question to you.
This is a fun one for me. So I've got 2 young boys at home, 1 and 3, and I'm getting a ton of energy and excitement, watching them learn and grow. And as much as I think about my work at LinkedIn and specifically on the Audience Network, I spend a lot of time reading about parenting and how to raise kind kids. And to connect it back, that multidimensional sense of who we all are is really the key to the LinkedIn Audience Network. I spend a lot of time on LinkedIn, but I also spend time elsewhere. And the value that the Audience Network creates is for marketers to reach me in multiple ways. And I'm very excited about that unlock.
That's fantastic. I'm excited to hear. Congratulations on being an amazing parent who cares and is trying to raise kind children. That's awesome. This kind of concludes the questions I had. Do either of you have anything else that you want to add?
I think this was a fantastic opportunity to really connect with your audience and to chat with you, AJ, about, what the foundational concepts are that the LinkedIn Audience Network was founded upon and just all of the excitement that we have for what's to come. So we're really grateful for the opportunity and the time here. And we hope to come back and share more about, the product roadmap and maybe talk with customers and learn more about some of the use cases that they're using the Audience Network for. So again, appreciate the chance to chat today.
And AJ, from my side, like you opened it, we've known each other for 6 years now, working across, various solutions at LinkedIn. And it's great to be on the podcast. And thank you for all you do to champion, and support the LinkedIn marketer. It's not unusual for me to have a question about how to run a LinkedIn ad campaign and think to ask you first. And so I really think of you as an expert on what you do. And so thank you for the time today.
Well, thank you, Peter. Thank you, Lipika. Grateful that you would come and share so deeply with us and answer all my terrible questions. So much appreciated and have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I've got the episode resources for you coming right up, so stick around.
Thank you for listening to the LinkedIn Ad Show. Hungry for more? AJ Wilcox, take it away.
All right, I hope you enjoyed the interview. I wanted to walk you through some great resources we've got for you. If you're looking to learn more about LinkedIn ads, look no further than the course that I did on LinkedIn Learning, all about LinkedIn ads. You'll find the link in the show notes below, and it is by far the most detailed, the least expensive, and the highest production value course out there. So check it out. If this is the first episode you've heard, congratulations. We're excited that you found us. Make sure to hit that subscribe button on whatever podcast player you're listening to. We'd love to have you back next week. But if this is not your first time listening, I would ask you, please do leave us a review. Most of these reviews are done in the Apple Podcasts section, but if you have anywhere else that will let you leave a review, please do. It truly means a lot to me. With any questions, suggestions, or corrections, reach out to us at podcast@b2link.com. And with that being said, we'll see you back here next week. We're cheering you on in your LinkedIn Ads initiative.